South Africa first up. How exciting is that?
It's one of those test matches that every kid grows up and wants to play. I know for myself, some of my greatest memories when I was a little fella was waking up and watching those games in the middle of the night. So having that opportunity to play South Africa at a World Cup opening game is pretty cool, and hopefully given that opportunity to play.
Sam, you played a lot of pool games, World Cups. Is this the biggest pool game you play?
Yeah, I think regardless of the opposition, the first one's always the one that there's that knot in the stomach. You don't know what that first one's going to be like, regardless of how many times you played an opposition before. So this is the one that everyone wants. Everyone wants to get out there and embrace that pressure of a World Cup and the pressure of a South Africa at a World Cup.
Is this the kind of challenge that you just love? Does it fizz you up?
Yeah, it's for any All Black playing against South Africa, it's going to be physically demanding. The big, strong guys, they play that style of rugby that it's going to be physical. You're going to be sore after the game, whether you play 80 minutes or whether you come off the bench. So it's pretty cool to have that physical challenge, but with that physical challenge comes the mental challenge as well. So that's something that I personally really enjoy, and what better challenge to start off with.
How do you make sure that you don't get too diligent with your preparations? I know you are a stickler to the details. At some point, do you ever actually say to yourself, hang on, I'm just doing too much here? What's that balance like?
I think for myself, you are right. I've got to be careful I don't play the game on Monday, Tuesday, and all the way through the week. It's actually saying, right, okay, we're at training now. Let's nail training, and then when it's Tuesday, if we have gym or anything else, you just got to nail that session, and then hopefully that'll allow me to play well on Saturday. So you can't get too far ahead. You just got to do what is needed right at that moment. So that's the challenging thing. For us as players, we always get told, it's 4 years out from World Cup, it's 3 years, and it's amazing. It's so close now, and it's the thing you want to be involved in as a player, and the excitement is definitely there, and it's making sure that you don't get too excited. You just got to stick to your normal process.
So have you noticed that it's changed significantly during your career now that the Rugby World Cup is now vastly more a focus to what it was when you first began, and things do work in that 4-year cycle more?
Yes, it does work in that 4-year cycle. I think the longer you're around, the more aware of it you are. I know for myself, I played my first game for the All Blacks in 2010, 2011. I didn't understand what a World Cup was. I didn't understand the pressure. For me, I was just excited to be in the squad. And I was given a couple of opportunities, but it wasn't until you talk to some of the older boys that had suffered some defeats at World Cups, had different pressures, then you actually understood how amazing it is to play at a World Cup, and the different pressures and the different challenges that go with it. But those challenges are pretty exciting.
As someone who has been there and done that before a lot, how much time are you spending talking, giving advice to the guys that haven't?
I think it's not a thing you sit someone down and give them all your experiences. It's probably drip feeding them in, and hopefully your actions are speaking just as loud as any words would. So that's the key thing for myself, is for me to play well. Hopefully that'll mean I'm leading well. So I've just got to nail my own personal preparation. It's been great. We've had a great week here so far. We've adjusted well to the heat, even though it hasn't been real hot. Obviously it's been raining today, but it's cool to, we had that week here to get used to the culture, the food, all those things. So now we just get to focus on the rugby.
A large chunk of the squad coming to the Rugby World Cup for the first time. There must be a lot of excitement within the actual group, not just yourself and the other veterans.
Yeah, it's been pretty awesome talking to say a George Bridge. This is his first World Cup and his excitement levels, but then also talking to, say, Sonny and Rito, like it's their third World Cup, but the excitement levels are there through the whole squad. Same with the management too. It's pretty cool to see everyone just taking it in their stride and being aware of how full on a World Cup is.
Kieran and Sonny Bill are in this potentially unique situation where you could be three-time winners at the World Cup the first time. Do you even contemplate that and think about that too far away?
It'd be awesome to achieve that, but I think if you start thinking that way, you potentially get into a lot of trouble. So I know what I've got to do this week. It's we've got our review after this, so I've got to nail that, and then I'd love to get there, but there's so many things along the way that we have to nail first. So don't want to look at the massive goal. We've had time to think about that over the last 3 or 4 years, but now it just comes back to what do I need to do right now, and hopefully all of us are trying to achieve that.
Is there any kind of bond or recognition or even chat between the three of you that but maybe when selection was made for the World Cup, we're still there, well done boys, or do you feel connected by that at all?
I get along with Sonny and Kieran very well. At the opening for us is New Zealand and the All Blacks. We had to line up alphabetically, so Sonny and I were standing next to each other, and we did share a couple of moments where we just said, how awesome was it to do this in New Zealand, and then obviously England, and then do it now, and each opening's been completely different, and it's really captured the different cultures of the last 3 World Cups, so it was quite cool just to have that, 20 seconds where we just reflected, but it's just reflection.
Sam, even though you weren't involved, have you got to reflect on a bit of All Black pain, such as experienced in 2007, not assume that because you've won it twice that it's going to happen? Is that an important part of the process?
Yeah, it's something as all New Zealanders know. We know our World Cup history pretty well. 2007, I was living in Australia, and I remember Australia were knocked out first, and then obviously the All Blacks were knocked out after, and the front line of the paper in Australia was All Blacks gone. So it's something that, for me, it was very interesting being in another country, obviously a neighbour. So it was interesting to see how they reacted, but also the feeling of it at home. So there's some key learnings there for us as the current squad to take from those previous World Cups.
Sam, is there a noticeably different atmosphere, would you say, in the squad to say the squad going into that 2011 World Cup? Can you feel a different kind of vibe coming in as defending champions to coming in as 24 years of heartache?
I think for myself in 11, as I said, I was just new, kind of didn't know what I was getting in for, and especially having the tournament at home. It wasn't probably until the Tongan side got to New Zealand, and then I think as a country, as a whole nation, we kind of said, we can actually get out of our seats and support our team. And then that's when I think the World Cup really took off in New Zealand. So that's when, for myself personally, it was, hang on, this is different to previous Test matches that I'd played in. And I just remember before the opening game, Ben Franks and I were roommates, and we were sitting there in Auckland, and we just didn't go out of the hotel because there was so many people around. The buzz of the whole tournament was just amazing, and you couldn't just go anywhere. So that was something that really sunk in for myself, and then realised that World Cups are different. And obviously being at home, that's probably where I understood that, okay, this is a bit different to what I expected.
You mentioned the review. What are you guys reviewing? Obviously, it's been a while since the Tongan game. What will you be reviewing today?
I will be reviewing that. We've had a couple of great training sessions in Japan so far, but it's really good to see those pictures again, and we'll go through things that we obviously did well and things we need to get better at, and the coaches will really drive that, and hopefully the players will help out where needed.
Sam, you're playing alongside Petra Turkoglu, who has openly said that the All Blacks nutritionist has made some changes with regards to the way he eats on match day and getting him right spot to be able to perform better. Have you noticed a significant difference in Patrick's work playing alongside him in these tests recently compared to maybe some of the previous experiences when he wasn't on that nutritional regime?
Yeah, I think with Patrick, he's definitely taken a step to where he potentially can go as a player, and that's very, very exciting for him individually, but also us as a team. It's awesome to see growth in a player. I think with Paddy, he's probably lost a little bit of weight too, which has meant he's a little bit more mobile, but he's still keeping that great strength that he does have. So it's cool to see that he's growing, and it's actually making us all get better and hopefully take the steps to where we want to be.
Sam, unlike previous World Cups, some of the major sides have got some quite tight turnarounds between games this tournament. Is that something you guys have spoken about, and sort of how you manage yourselves and look after each other in that situation?
Yeah, there's I think the last World Cup, every side had their quick turnarounds. In 11, it wasn't the same. So it's something that we've just got to put trust in our medical team, our physios, all those things. They're the professionals for a reason. For us as players, you've just got to allow them to, tell us what to do. But for us, it doesn't go much further than this weekend. If we put everything into that, then we'll be told after that game what is the best thing to do. So we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves.
Did you get along to the baseball yesterday with some of your teammates?
Yeah, it was awesome. Didn't really know what to expect, and it was pretty cool. We got there and never been to the Tokyo Dome before, and we were all told it was going to be real hot, so we were all took a whole lot of water along, but it was pretty awesome. Just the atmosphere and how all the supporters got in behind their sides. Pretty cool. They had all their chants, and the guy on the trumpet must have been pretty knackered by the end. We only stayed for a bit, but he was pretty energetic in the way he led their supporters, and it was cool to see their players really got in behind it, and it gave them a boost, and I'm sure that's going to be the same here once all the supporters get in behind their teams.
It's a lot longer than a rugby game. Did you manage to stay awake the whole time?
Yeah, we just stayed for the first 3 or 4 innings, so we were there for a couple of hours, and we just got to absorb the atmosphere of some pretty awesome baseball, and pretty cool to see the Japanese getting behind their sides, and it's something that we didn't really know what we're in for until we got there, but it's pretty cool to say that we've been, and hopefully we get to another one.
Who are the big baseball fans in the team?
I don't actually know who are the really passionate guys, but for myself, I really enjoyed it. It's something that don't know a lot about. Obviously, there's a pretty rich history of the softball in New Zealand, but the baseball side is something new, so it's pretty cool. And I must admit, when they do finally connect, man, it's a long way to hit a homer, but it's pretty cool to see people that are great at their sport doing their thing.